Caitlin Clark just got offered a deal so massive, it could destroy the WNBA overnight, and the league has no idea what's coming. Before we get into it, I have to talk about a story that is genuinely massive. And yes, it involves Caitlin Clark, but not in the way you think. There are brand new updates in the ongoing WNBA CBA negotiations, and there's a fresh twist to this whole storyline. Reports are surfacing that a Saudi-backed basketball league is preparing to launch next season, and this could change absolutely everything we know about women's basketball. Is this enough to pull Caitlin Clark away? $20 million deal? $30 million? $40 million? $50 million? Whatever number you're imagining, stay with me because the real figure being reported is even bigger than that. Before we dive deeper into this, I want to be honest with you for a second. Stories like this, the real, unfiltered breakdowns that nobody else is willing to say out loud, take hours of research, digging, and care to put together. And the only reason this channel, WNBA Analysis, is able to keep bringing you the truth behind these headlines is because of people like you who choose to hit that subscribe button. If you've made it this far, it means this story matters to you too. So please take 2 seconds, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications. It genuinely means everything to us, and it's the only way you'll be there the moment this story fully breaks. Now let's get into it. Everything you think you know about women's basketball is about to get flipped upside down. For months, the headlines have been all about Caitlin Clark. The jealousy, the cheap shots, the cold shoulder from the league's veterans. But while everyone was busy watching the drama play out on the court, one of the richest funds on the planet was quietly watching Clark from the sidelines. And this isn't about a sneaker deal. This isn't about a bigger rookie contract. This is about a billion-dollar earthquake that Stephen A. Smith just confirmed live on national television. Right now, this isn't just internet gossip anymore. Word is spreading that Saudi Arabia's government-backed investment fund is putting together a hostile takeover of women's basketball, and their 2 top targets are reportedly Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. Picture it, the most talked-about shooter of her generation, teamed up with one of the league's most magnetic personalities. That combination could rip a hole straight through the WNBA, and honestly there wouldn't be much anyone could do to stop it. Months ago, Stephen A. Smith gave the league a warning. He said if they didn't protect their biggest asset, somebody else would swoop in and take the whole thing. Well, it looks like that warning just came true. And once you understand who's delivering this message, you understand exactly why WNBA executives should be losing sleep right now. Nobody has been louder about how Clark's been treated than Stephen A. Smith. While other commentators tiptoed around it, calling the hard fouls just competitive, Smith called it what it was, jealousy, plain and simple. He went off on national TV about the league dropping the ball with the best gift they've ever been handed. He pointed to everything: Clark flying commercial like a nobody, Kennedy Carter's cheap shoulder check, getting snubbed from the Olympic roster. But here's the thing, his tone has shifted. This isn't just criticism anymore. This sounds like a prediction of disaster. The market always corrects itself, Smith said flatly. His point: you cannot keep paying a global superstar $76,000 a year when she's worth hundreds of millions, and expect nothing to happen. He said the league's old guard figured they could bully Clark into waiting her turn, but they forgot something crucial. In today's world, players hold the power. And when Smith backs up these Saudi rumors publicly, that tells you everything. He knows loyalty only goes so far, and it ends the moment respect disappears. Basically, he's saying, I warned you. The league treated her like an outsider. Now she might become their biggest competitor. And that's exactly where this whole be loyal to the league argument falls apart. So let's actually look at the numbers here because they're brutal. The WNBA runs on a tight salary cap. Clark signed a 4-year rookie deal worth roughly $338,000 total, which breaks down to about $76,000 for her first season. For comparison, there are guys sitting on NBA benches making that much money in a single week. For years, the league's excuse has been simple: there's no money. They'll tell you they've been in the red for almost 3 decades. But here's what's wild. Clark fixed that problem in about 3 months. Attendance shot up the moment she got drafted. TV ratings hit numbers nobody's seen in decades. Merchandise is flying off shelves. She's pulling in millions for the league and getting paid an amount that barely covers rent in a major city. That's exactly why the Saudi rumor is impossible to laugh off. The public investment fund doesn't deal in thousands, they deal in billions. To them, Clark isn't some rookie who needs to pay her dues. She's a global icon being paid a fraction of her actual worth. If the reports about $1 billion investment into a brand new league or tournament are true, this isn't a paycheck we're talking about. This is an empire. We're talking about an upfront offer that could dwarf what every other WNBA player combined has earned in their entire careers. Put that next to a $76,000 salary, and there's really no contest. But don't make the mistake of thinking this is just about one athlete getting rich. This is a calculated geopolitical power move, and we've actually watched this exact script play out before. Remember LIV Golf? For decades, the PGA Tour ran the show. The money, the players, the schedule, all of it. Then the Saudis stepped in. They didn't ask for a partnership. They simply bought the players outright. Guys like Dustin Johnson and Phil Mickelson were handed hundreds of millions just to show up. The media lost their minds over it, throwing around terms like sports washing, calling the players greedy sellouts. But guess what happened? The PGA Tour eventually had no choice but to fold and merge with the very players they lost. Insiders now believe women's basketball could be facing the exact same setup. The WNBA is exposed. Players are underpaid. Stars are frustrated. Travel conditions have been an issue for years. It's the perfect storm for a takeover. And by going after Clark specifically, the Saudis aren't just chasing a player, they're going straight for the heartbeat of the entire league. Without her, the WNBA slides right back into the background. With her, a brand new Saudi-backed league instantly becomes must-watch television across the globe. But one superstar alone doesn't build a league. You need rivalry. You need star power beyond just one face. That's where Sophie Cunningham fits into this picture. Why her and not someone like Breanna Stewart or Aya Wilson? The answer's simple: marketability. Cunningham has built a huge following through her personality and her fearless style of play. She's recognizable. She's got that spark advertisers chase after, and she knows exactly how to work social media. Cameras find her on the sideline for a reason. Rumor has it this new league wants to build a roster of stars who are marketable worldwide, and Clark plus Cunningham checks every box. You've got the fiery, tough-as-nails personality in Cunningham, paired with generational skill in Clark. Together, they're the perfect faces to launch a brand new product. Smith has said it himself over and over: stars are what sell tickets, and these two sell tickets. It's really that simple. Now, let's talk about why Clark might actually walk away from a league she dreamed of playing in her whole life. If the WNBA had welcomed her with open arms, turning down $1 billion might have been an easy decision. But that's not what happened. From the moment she stepped on the court, it was open season. Diana Taurasi practically warned her on national television during the Final Four, and it didn't sound like encouragement, it sounded like a threat. The new star was seen as competition, not an addition. Then came the games. We watched her get hounded full court, slammed in the paint, knocked flat on the floor while referees looked the other way. That hip check from Kennedy Carter wasn't a basketball play, it was a message. Smith exploded after that moment, asking where her teammates were, why the league wasn't protecting its biggest star. The pattern became impossible to ignore. The league's veterans weren't ready to hand over the spotlight. They wanted to snuff it out entirely. In that kind of environment, walking away starts looking really appealing. If you could go somewhere you'd be treated like royalty and get paid 50 times more, why would you stick around with people actively rooting against your success? And this wouldn't even be the first time someone tried pulling Clark away. Remember when Ice Cube publicly offered her $5 million to play just 8 games in his 3-on-3 league? $5 million. More than she'll earn during her entire WNBA rookie contract. She turned it down. Back then she still believed in the WNBA dream. She wanted the championship. But that was before the hazing, before the lack of protection, before the constant chaos surrounding her every move. Now things have changed, and reportedly this Saudi offer makes Ice Cube's number look like pocket change. What makes this different is the infrastructure behind it. This isn't a side hustle, this is a replacement for the entire league. Fewer games, first-class travel, no salary cap, and the legitimacy of a global touring product. It solves every complaint players have had for years. Ice Cube proved her market value exists. The Saudis are proving they've got the money to make it permanent. Now flip over to the other side, WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert's office. If these rumors are true, she's staring down a nightmare. The league is currently negotiating a massive new media rights deal, asking networks like Disney, Amazon, and NBC for billions. And their entire pitch hinges on one thing: the Caitlin Clark effect. They're pointing to skyrocketing viewership and saying, "Pay us for this growth." But that leverage evaporates instantly the second Clark signs with a rival league. Without her, networks aren't handing over billions, they're basically funding a show built around one player. If she leaves, the deal collapses. And if the TV deal collapses, so does the extra revenue for every single player who spent the last year hazing her. That's some brutal irony right there. The veterans who tried to intimidate her may have just cost themselves their own paychecks. Smith touched on this karma too. You can't keep biting the hand feeding you and expect it to keep feeding you. Now let's address the obvious question hanging over all of this. Whenever Saudi money enters sports, the moral outrage machine kicks in immediately. We saw it with LIV Golf. We saw it when Ronaldo signed in Saudi Arabia. Critics will bring up human rights concerns, calling it an attempt to clean up a country's image through sports. But as Smith points out constantly, morals don't pay your bills. Nobody blinks when NBA stars cash massive checks from Chinese sponsorships. The backlash against golfers taking Saudi money faded out within about 6 months. And for female athletes specifically, this moral debate hits even harder because of how underpaid they've been for so long. When your current employer is paying you $70,000 a year, can anyone really blame you for taking a $10 million offer instead? Fans might argue online, but history shows us one truth: fans follow talent. If Clark and Cunningham were playing basketball on the moon, people would tune in. The outrage fades fast. Generational wealth doesn't. Now dig deeper into why Cunningham specifically fits this plan. This setup suggests the new league wouldn't follow the traditional city team format at all. Think more like a touring model similar to golf or tennis. Stars like Clark and Cunningham hopping between cities like London, Dubai, Tokyo, and New York for massive exhibition-style events. No slow, low-viewership regular season games. Just spectacle, front and center. Adding Sophie brings the chemistry and personality. She and Clark represent this bold, stylish new generation of players fans actually want to watch. This is exactly why this breakaway idea is so dangerous for the WNBA. It targets casual fans, the millions of new viewers who started watching purely because of Clark. Those fans will follow her anywhere. The hardcore WNBA loyalists might stay, but if Clark and Cunningham launch something new under a Saudi banner, the WNBA risks becoming nothing more than a farm league for the real show happening elsewhere. And here's what makes this rumor even harder to dismiss: the silence. Normally, when a wild rumor like this surfaces, agents jump in fast to shut it down and avoid distractions. That hasn't happened. Clark's camp hasn't denied it. Cunningham's team hasn't said a word. Instead of putting the fire out, Smith keeps adding fuel to it. In sports, silence usually means negotiations are happening behind closed doors. They can't confirm anything until contracts are signed or the season wraps up. But that lack of denial speaks volumes. They might already be preparing for the exit, or at the very least using this offer as leverage. And think about the timing here. A WNBA season is brutal. Grueling travel, physical wear and tear, little reward. The idea of private jets and $1 billion safety net only gets more tempting as the season drags on. That silence tells you the players understand exactly how much power they're holding right now. So where does this leave us? We could be standing right at the edge of the biggest shakeup in the history of women's sports. Smith laid it out clearly: instead of embracing the future, the league let ego and mismanagement drive away the very person who saved it. This reported $1 billion Saudi deal involving Clark and Cunningham isn't just a contract, it's a warning shot. It's proof that if the current system refuses to pay women what they're worth, somebody else absolutely will. The Clark and Cunningham era might not happen in a WNBA jersey at all. And if that's how it plays out, the league will have nobody to blame but itself. The only real question left isn't if anymore, it's when. And once that press conference happens, once the numbers get revealed to the world, sports will never look the same again. So here's what I want to know from you. If this $1 billion league actually happens, are you sticking with the WNBA, or are you switching over to watch Clark and Cunningham build something brand new? Drop your answer in the comments below, because this debate is only just getting started. And listen, if this channel, WNBA Analysis, has kept you informed, entertained, or even just given you something real to think about, please don't scroll past this part. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. It costs you nothing, but it means the world to us, and it's the only way you'll be there the second this story breaks wide open. Because when this news drops, you're going to want to be first to know.